Hello there and welcome to the show. My name is Michael Zimanji and today on Daring Abroad, we bring you stories from Ireland, Senegal and right here in Kenya. But before we begin, let's have a taste of what we have in store. Bedan Thendu makes Kenya proud as he helps develop satellite navigation in Africa.
Travelers within Africa will find it easy to move from country A to country B.
And Lucy Gadoni shares her experience in Dublin as a frontline worker amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Plus, Chams Media's magical experience at Rapids Camp Sagana that is known for adventure tourism. Right, on to our first story, and Bedan Thendu has always had his head up in the clouds, but not in the way that you were thinking. He's actually an aviation expert living in Dakar, Senegal, and he has been involved in the development of satellite navigation in Africa. And here is how. When it comes to matters aviation, Bedan Thendu is the man to call. With over 25 years of experience, Thendu can be regarded as an authority in the aviation industry. It is no wonder that in 2019, EGNOS Africa, a joint program office of the African and European Unions, sought his services. But before I get ahead of myself, let's first walk down memory lane. Thendu was born and raised in Nyandarua County. He attended Nyandarua Boarding Primary School before attending Nyahururu High School for his secondary education. It was after this period that Thendu was introduced to aviation.
When I got an opportunity to join East African School of Aviation, I was recruited at the district level to represent Nyandarua district as one of the intakes for the air traffic control profession. And that is how I went about it. I never knew what air traffic control was. I just did the interviews just like any other interviews. I did several interviews. I did surveying, I did medical school and several other interviews, but I did not even consider air traffic control. But when I was called that for the interview and I went and I found the environment to be very sweet, and I was told that I will be an in-service. There are no fees. It will be a government-sponsored program. I shared my plans of joining Nairobi University for a bachelor degree in business administration.
Little did he know that this was a defining moment in his life. On completion of the course in 1997, Thendu was posted in Mombasa for 5 years as an air traffic controller before relocating to Nairobi and stationed at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport.
And that is where I remained until some time in 2010 when I was taken to be the officer in charge of Lokichogio Airport, where I managed Lokichogio Airport for the whole of 2009, 2010. And then I came back to Nairobi as a senior air traffic controller, a radar controller, until the year 2015 when I was promoted to be the chief lecturer of Air Traffic Management Department of the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority at the East African School of Aviation.
And it was during his time at the East African School of Aviation that Thendu caught wind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in Dakar, Senegal. And surprisingly, it was through social media.
The Joint Program Office of the African Union and European Union Strategic Partnership were looking for an aviation expert who would promote and consolidate the development of satellite navigation and positioning services in Africa, since it is a new initiative that wants to be developed in Africa. So I was to join a Pan-African team of 8 experts who are hosted here in Senegal by their Sagana.
Without thinking twice, Thendu took his shot, packed his bags, and made his way to Dakar.
When I came, these are French-speaking nations, so it was a bit difficult for me, hiking a taxi from point A to point B. The culture shock, because You find I'm used to ugali. There is no ugali here. I'm used to githeri. There is no githeri here. In terms of people, the culture of the people, you know, Dakar people are a bit laid back. They're not fast like in Nairobi. But I was equally surprised that it is a very secure town. I was at first trying to hide when I'm talking on phone in public, and people would look at me wondering, what am I doing? So it was a bit scary for me, but I came to realize that Dakar is very peaceful. It's very, very peaceful, very secure. You can walk at night. Another thing I found unique is the friendliness of the people of here, just like our coast region. When you ask someone, including even an ATM facility, that person will not direct you. He or she will rather take you up to the point. Initially, I thought they were conmen, but I came to realize it's their way of upbringing.
This made it easier for a determined Thendu to soldier on and put more effort in his task at EGNOS Africa.
The Joint Program Office aims to achieve the consolidation of development and adoption of satellite navigation in Africa, including satellite-based augmentation services, where we have the introduction of satellite navigation in Africa to boost our economic and social and environmental impacts. We are also concerned with the lifting of the Agenda 2063 of the African Union so that we promote seamless airspace architecture in Africa.
This would inevitably result in increased trade and inward investment in the region.
And we believe through development and actuation of the single African air transport market, then travelers within Africa will find it easy to move from point country A to country B. People will be able to transport their goods with more liberalization of our airspaces. So that is how we want to do it.
So far, Thendu has been able to successfully establish himself in Senegal, but he does admit it was easier said than done.
Life is not easy. Abroad, life is not easy. Why am I saying this? We have worked through the process of being abroad. So you have to work hard. It's not on a silver platter. You may not think that you will get it just by waking up one morning.
And as we conclude, this is his parting shot regarding working abroad.
You're expected by the society to invest back at home. It does not come easily. If you have to invest back at home, then you have to live uncomfortable for the time being so that you can live comfortably thereafter.
And that's what daring abroad is all about. What an amazing story and a testament to what Kenya has to offer the world. Time now for a break, but when we return, Lucy Gadoni Kariuki will share her experience as a frontline worker in Ireland combating the COVID-19 pandemic. Also ahead, Chams Media's magical experience at Rapids Camp, Sagana. Welcome back to the show. Now, while on assignment at the Kenyan coast, we bumped into a family on holiday from Ireland. When we interacted with them, we found out that the matriarch of the family has a unique story to tell. I'm of course talking about Lucy Gadoni Kariuki, and here is her story.
It's been barely a month since Lucy Gadoni and her daughter landed in Kenya from Ireland. When we met them, they were busy merrymaking with their friends at the Moorings Floating Restaurant in Mutwapa, Kilifi County. And when we asked her if she was interested in sharing her story with us, Gadoni was more than willing. Turns out she's an avid follower of Daring Abroad.
I'm always watching the program, seeing so many people have gone abroad and come back, and even when you're there, you have to, like, you want to meet and see and do whatever things you different.
Find it inspiring.
Inspiring, yeah.
Gadoni, who has been domiciled in Ireland for over 20 years, is no stranger here. She always makes a point of visiting her homeland at least once a year.
I feel more free in Kenya, and I feel more free because you have your family here, you know, and
So you feel at home?
I feel at home, of course. I feel at home, and everybody, you know what it is in Kenyans, there's always a smile, even if the COVID is there. Yeah, there's a smile in everybody. I mean, it's a beautiful country. It's green. It has everything. Anybody, you know, properties, everything. Good weather. Everything is good, you know.
But the frequent flyer does admit that unlike previous years, transiting across borders currently isn't a walk in the park.
It is very hard traveling at this time, during the COVID time. And it's really like, it's hard actually, it is hard. Yeah, everybody is...
What did you go through? COVID test,
you have to do so many things. You have to do the test twice, you know, and then make sure that you have the test. And the queue is as long as anything in the airport. Yeah, and I do understand this is because of the safety of everybody else in the plane. Before you go into a plane, in everywhere, you have to do a COVID test. Some of them ask for antigen and COVID test.
Speaking of the pandemic, Gadoni, who is a healthcare worker in Ireland, fully understands the importance of COVID-19 management guidelines, having witnessed firsthand the effects of the virus.
It was really, really hard and very scary. Actually, I can tell you it was really, really scary. But in the grace of God, we managed to go through, because you really have to be very careful, but you don't know, because you don't know what will happen to you or whatever. But because you have taken the measures of protections, so that's how you are able to go along. And then you have to realize you are in that kind of work. You still have to be in it, you know? Yeah, but that's the way it is.
Are you dealing with the potential COVID?
I was dealing with it every day, every minute, every hour. So I would work maybe 12 hours throughout the day, nights, and I was dealing with it in hospital because I work in hospital. So I was dealing with it every day. When you're going to hospital, we had to be tested every now and again. Yeah, so that to be sure that you don't have anything. So you have your PPE, the shield, the mask, the gloves, you have to change constantly, yeah, all the time. Every time you go for one patient to another, you have to keep changing all the time, constantly.
Lucy is now looking forward to freely relax and unwind in a peaceful environment.
We are in lockdown. In Ireland, we've been locked down, the longest lockdown we have ever been, but anyway, I do understand all these precautions and everything. Yeah, it's across.
Are restaurants open or no?
No, the restaurant's not open. So this is like amazing for me, coming home and sitting in a restaurant as well. It's amazing.
As we wind up Gadoni's story, her advice to all those in the diaspora is always ensure you are connected to your homeland. And for her, Daring Abroad is a top TV series that reconnects her with Kenya.
I do love watching Daring Abroad. It's very inspiring, and watching people who have come from where you've come from and seeing people who are out there, you're not the only one, and watching everybody who has especially different kind of countries. I know I've watched you in America, and I think I watched one in Australia as well, and a few of them. So it's very inspiring.
We wish Gadoni all the best as she enjoys her holiday in Kenya.
Indeed, Lucy Gadoni is a Kenyan hero with the good work that she's doing back in Ireland. It's now time for my Magical Kenya segment, and this time round, it's for all you adventure lovers and thrill seekers. So Chams Media felt it was time for us to just go out and replenish our energy, and the place we felt that we should do this is Rapids Camp, Sagana, and here is our experience.
My Magical Kenya, brought to you by Chams Adventures.
They say work, work, work without play makes Jack a dull boy. And so we at Chams Media decided, why not take a break to explore some magic as a team? Away from the hustles and bustles of the city, and our choice was Rapids Camp Sagana, a 2-hour drive from the city.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Peter. Welcome to Rapids Camp.
Upon arrival, the experience began with the crossing of River Sagana, a sign of a rare adventure ahead as we learned that we were crossing from Kirinyaga County to Murang'a County. At this point, the real experience not yet. We were just checking in. And eventually taking a rest. Day 2, fresh and energetic, we were all set for the so-called icebreaker. One of the key services at Rapids Camp Sagana is team building training sessions.
Jump out. Jump to the left.
Such activities are good for bonding. Some activities can be quite breathtaking. How about rock climbing? Wow, I didn't expect this. But I got courage as my team cheered me on. Quite daring. Now, I just used to hear about zip lining. This was a rare moment to experience it. Imagine sliding across the roaring river on a lining at a speed of about 50 kilometers per hour.
Your jacket should be properly fitting, not too loose and not too tight.
The ultimate was water activities. And if you have phobia for water, forget it. The good thing is that you can just enjoy as a spectator.
Kijana machachari.
Rapids Camp Sagana, which is the brainchild of 50-year-old entrepreneur William Kinuthia, is located between Kirinyaga and Murang'a counties. It is known for adventure tourism.
We have 23 activities, namely rafting, we have kayaking, we have zip lining, we have bungee jumping, we have different activities, geckos, river swims. We are basically the only place where we do river swims in the country. So we offer experiences, and actually what we call signature experiences. These experiences that we offer here, they are not found anywhere else.
At this point, we had been joined by another group that had equally come here for team building, Savannah Traders Circle Limited from Nanyuki.
We felt that we need to work as a team, and especially in this time of COVID-19, we find that maybe most of the people are strained, their working relationships, and maybe even at home. So we felt that there is that need to strengthen this team.
And our hosts kept throwing us into more and more adrenaline-pumping activities. And some adventure seekers come here as families.
First, we decided to do some kayaking, and then we went to the water rafting, and then the plunge pool, which is over there behind us. Then we went down to do some other sliding events and fun.
According to William, safety is assured.
If you look at our clans, everybody has a helmet and they have a life jacket. So the equipment, number one, the equipment that you use is highly certified. We are affiliated to International Canoe Federation, and of course something called slalom, which is the highest safety standards in the world. So we are affiliated to British Canoe Union, International Canoe Federation. So number one, everything about Rapids Camp is safety, safety, safety. We don't compromise on that. And that's why even here we don't sell alcohol as a policy, because we want to give people adventure. So safety is in our blood, it's in core in our business.
Then, what is considered the most daring activity? The plunge off an 11-meter cliff into the river. Yes, I did it. William is the pioneer of adventure tourism not only in Sagana but the entire region. Since 2006, the camp has hosted over 135 nationalities, but their main target is the Kenyan market.
Our business is 80% locals. We wanted really to give Kenyans an experience.
Mark you, this trip was organized by Chams Adventures, a sister company to Chams Media, in collaboration with Adventure Vacations East Africa, which provided transport.
From our experience here at Sagana Rapids, for these 2 days, we've been here as the Chams Media team and Chams Adventures team. It is evident that Kenya has a lot to offer. It has magical and unique destination. So all you need to do is make us your travel partner.
Indeed, Kenya is full of magic that can never be exhausted.
Yes, it was truly a magical experience, and having been there, my advice to you is before you go for such a trip, make sure to limber up. Well, that is all we had for you today. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.